And today topic I would like to talk and discuss about one of the contemporary issue and which is compulsory to be known by each and every citizen of the country. Every day in our life we are buying n number of products. The products you may bought it through online or by the offline. But how many of you know that if you find any kind of product related damages, how you need to file a case, how we need to get protection from the government? Now, this thought or idea was came into the minds of the people and they were trying to implement one particular act should be required to monitoring about these kind of things. At last, they passed a bill in the Lok Sabha on December 5th, 1986, but it was enacted and came into the force in the month of April 1987. But anyway, the bill was passed in the year of 1986, so that Consumer Protection Act, we will be saying that 1986, only that introducing year. Now, what is this Consumer Protection Act? What is the benefit for the consumers by implementation of Consumer Protection Act in India? According to the Consumer Protection Act 1986, it has given that a social welfare legislation, and this was enacted and this was came into the force, so that here and after when you find that any kind of buyer consumer are facing any kind of issues or problems about buying of the product, or unfortunately they bought any kind of duplicate products or damaging products from the buyer, by the time they can approach to the salesman by stating that you sold as a duplicate product, as you said as a original product, but when it came into the real time use, the consumer found that this was a duplicate product. So by the time what we supposed to do, we need to file a case against the company. Now, for that related, do we have any kind of assistance? Yes, but this was came to known by the people after that 1986. Now you can able to find out an umbrella in this PPT, whereas stating as consumer protection. Now in this consumer protection, you can able to find out two genders of people and multi-aged people. Kids were also there, adult, senior citizens, men and women. So under come to the Consumer Protection Act, they want to know that have you cheated? Yes, then definitely you can take the help of Consumer Protection Act, and through that you can able to get the help or by the assistance. For that, they framed that important objective for implementation of this CPA. CPA stands Consumer Protection Act. So the first foremost objective of introducing this Consumer Protection Act, whenever they found any buyer was cheated from a salesman or a manufacturing company, then you can approach the Consumer Protection Act for getting the justification. Sometimes there is a problem between salesman versus or selling company versus or manufacturing company versus buyer. So by that time, you can approach to the consumer protection councils. These councils will be assist you, they will be helping you on behalf of buyer. They will do that all the formalities and you will be getting the justification. In simple, with the help of Consumer Protection Act, they want to settle the issues, misunderstanding between selling company versus buyer. In simple, like a redressal aspects between consumers and buyers. So for the sake of that, only this consumer protection was passed the bill. So in this Consumer Protection Act has given that first foremost priority for safety and security of buyer, because buyer will be buying products from the companies. Sometimes all the buyers will not be an educated buyers. They may know about product related uses, directions. Sometimes unfortunately they bought the product, they don't know that how to use. But being a company, you need to inform to the public, you need to guide to the buyers who has to buy, what is the use of the product, what is the price of the product, the directions to use, so that only they will be properly using about by the product. And here one more important quality aspect, cost base, you need to decide the prices of the product. You cannot able to decide higher prices when it comes to the quality standards are too weak. Then by that time definitely the legislation will be coming to the force. Consumers at the larger volume, they were huge in number, and every day they will be buying n number of products, and through that the country GDP, national income, everything which is going to be depending on the daily consumption of the consumers. So the government, the legislations, the bills, also they were trying to help for the consumers to buying a safe good products for them. Now according to the Consumer Protection Act, who is going to be called as consumer? I hope you are aware in the subject of marketing management. They would have taught you what is the difference between consumer versus customer. Any guesses? I don't want any correct differentiation. Give me as your best. What could be consumer? Just a guess. Priyanka? Okay. So, according to the statement, they were very clearly talking. Consumer is a person where he is going to buy the product for the sake of his consideration, his consumption. For that, he is paying some sort of money, and he is the person will be called it as a consumer. I will go to a recharge shop and I'm paying 200 rupees recharge for my mobile phone. So you can call me as a consumer because I'm paying money for the sake of to get services. I will go to vegetable shop. I will pay 500 rupees or 200 rupees and I'm going to buy weekly related groceries or vegetables. I'm going to buy by paying the 500 rupees. I will go to Avin Milk retail outlet. I will pay 25 rupees or 30 rupees, and every day I'm going to buy milk packet. So everywhere what was happening is I, that means consumer. I myself directly paying money and getting of the product. Now here what it is going to be available? I'm paying money and as such as I'm going to getting, just a minute. Here in normally the buyer who is directly paying money and getting services. So he is the man or he is the person will be called it as a consumer. And the second criteria of thing will be called it as a customer. So here what customer will do? Customer, he is a person will be recommending somebody else to start to buy, to start to use of the product. That is the fundamental difference between consumer and as well as customer. So buyers any goods for the consideration. Consideration means using, which has been paid. Whereas customer, he may pay the money, he may not pay the money, but definitely he is going to using of the product. Now, according to the Consumer Protection Act 1986, Section 2, subsection 1 and D, was stating the person who is involving in directly buying of the product for their consumption. Now, here they will be mentioned very clearly. The person who is buying the product for the sake of to sell somebody, or he is going to give it to giving to someone, and those kind of situation he will be never be called it as a customer, sorry, never be called as a consumer, because you have to buy, you need to use of it. If you are buying on behalf of somebody else, you will be never be called it as a consumer, only you will be called it as a customer. So consumer only will be eligible. Commercial purpose, resale purpose, if you bought, you are not eligible, and you will never be called it as a consumer. Now, why it is going to be so important for us to give the protection for the consumer? Because before buying the product, you know very well what is the product you are going to buy, what is the size of product you are going to buy it. Then why again we need to give security for them? Because many technical terms which are all not at all knowing by the consumer. So by the time it is a requirement scope that we need to guide for them. How we can able to guide them? By informing the directions. Now here also the consumers are unorganized way. In villages, one kind of education, one kind of business, one kind of understanding about the product. In metropolitan and cities, people will have one kind of understanding about by the product. So depending on your business, depending on your understanding or pursueness about to the product, you will be knowing. Now we are seeing an advertisement. Recently I have seen that Alexa, there is a one advertisement and somebody will be coming in front of the speaker and they will be saying that, Alexa, can you just sing a song in some kind of romantic song or some feel good songs. So immediately the Alexa will make this sound. So what is it mean, and what kind of advertisement was this, and what they want to promote, we don't know. But once you are seeing advertisement by fully, you will be come to know that understanding, whether this is a Google search, whether this is going to be including by the voice command, whatever you want to search, you need not to be type, you just go with the voice record option, and through that you can able to get it whatever you want. When it comes to the rural area, how many of them understood, how many of them buying this kind of product? Because this is heterogeneity, different income, different gender, different educational qualification, different sectors the people are working, different knowledge levels. So what you need to do that, you need to be understanding very clearly what they are expecting, what they want, and relatively we need to satisfy all of them. So here I have given a web link actually. So if you are clicking this web link, automatically you will be able to find out 8 to 9 different consumer protection organizations. If in case you are finding some kind of difficulty, I'm going to share in the chat box also the web link. If at all you are cheated with the any other company by selling a duplicate product, definitely you can able to approach by these companies, these organizations. Definitely they will help us in a better way. So we need to be understand, these are the institutions who are established only for the sake of to provide safety, security for people, and they will be working on the behalf of the interest, on the behalf of the rights of the consumer. For example, I went to ATM. I was inserted the ATM card. I am trying to withdraw 1,000 rupees from the ATM. So the moment when I was inserted the ATM card and I'm typed that PIN number, after some time the cashing the machine was rolled for some time, and that was making a sound. After 2 3 minutes, no amount was came out, but in my account that was showing that debited 1,000 rupees. To whom I should approach? If I approach the banker, banker was saying, no, you have taken 1,000 rupees. But actually, I was not taken. To whom should I approach? Who will help me? Again, these Consumer Protection Act organizations will be come forward. You need to file a case, and then immediately on behalf of you, they will be working. So for the sake of that, we need to be go with the companies. And then next one, consumer ignorance. Most of the time, what will happen? Consumers are, they are ignored. They don't know that they have these kind of facilities when you are cheated or somebody was just a minute. Okay, the consumer was understood that he was cheated by someone. So by the time he need to file a case, how he need to file a case, to whom he need to be approached, he don't know anything. So by the time you can directly approach to the above forms, because of your ignorance it cannot be benefit for them.